Okay. First of all, I'm a user and I have a mobile phone, and I see there is a cell tower near to me. Okay. And there is an interaction between me and the cell tower. Okay. But what is 5G here in this? How 5G is different? Okay. This we generally call user equipment in the technical terminology, or we can say simply say a mobile phone. This is access network, or we can call it antenna, or in 5G we call it G node B. Then if we get inside the core network of the 5G, we have a function. We have a function called user plane function, which handles the user plane data. User plane data. Okay. So I have this access network, user plane data. Then there is this internet from where we get some data. For example, there is a server from where, for example, we want to search something from Google. So we ask google.com for that information. These are the Google server. And there is a connection between the internet, which is inside the internet, public internet. Then from there is this interface is called N6 interface. It is for data, and this is the network interface between UPF and this outside the public internet. Then the session will be established between the access network, which is this one, and the user plane, but it won't directly happen. First of all, we need to verify our mobile phone belongs to the operator, is valid, mobile phone number is valid and has a associated subscription. I paid the bill and I have associated with it. For that we need to validate that. So for that reason we have AMF and AUS. AMF, there is one more, AUSF. So what AMF and AUSF will do, first of all, UE asks, UE contacts the G node B, and there is some interaction between the G node B and access network. We call this N2, and there is a connection between UE and AMF. This we call NAS 5G. NAS 5G we call it. NAS 5G we call it. And this is N2 interface. And this interface is called N1 interface. N1 interface. And any signaling messages, much of the signaling messages, there are different kind of signaling messages. The NAS one will be transferred in this fashion, and gap, next generation application protocol. This is the protocol for this one also here, and gap. And there is a interaction between these two, and the user network, the user plane, the user equipment or mobile phone. First of all, at any given moment, G node B, which is our access network or antenna, has a beacon channel. Beacon, by definition, it transmits a signal identifying itself that this is my ID and this is my network operator, and I have this. And based on that, that signal will be received by the user equipment, which is our mobile phone in this case, and that signal strength is also valid, is known to the our mobile phone. And once we have it, so there is a there is a request for there is a request for RRC establishment, radio resource control we call it. RRC establishment or radio control. So we want a connection to be between. We want a connection between. We want a connection between the radio. There is a radio connection. We want a radio connection. We want a radio connection. For that to happen, the user equipment and the G node B, and we want a connection to happen. So for that reason, first of all, our access network or the our antenna has to first ask, do I know you, or what is your identity? So we know that with the help of something called IMSI. We call this IMSI. IMSI is IMSI or SUPI, subscriber unique identity, subscriber identity, which is unique. Based on this information, okay, of course, this G node B does not know. This G node B does not know whether this SUPI belongs to it, because it doesn't have this information. For that reason, what it will do, what our access network will do, it will contact AMF to validate whether this specific user, is he the user in this operator for us? Is he an operator? Is he a user for us? Okay. For that reason, it takes this information, and what it does, it contacts authentication selection function, AUSF. Okay, because its service, it gives the authentication services, and what AUSF will do, it will contact UDM and UDR, Unified Data Management and Unified Data Repository, data registry. So first of all, it asks AUSF. It asks for an AUSF, authentication service selection. From there, it asks AUSF, hey, based on, hey, I have this SUPI and I would like to validate this UE, and can you help me? Can you help me authenticate this? Can you authenticate this, please, and give us the result? Okay. So what it will do, it takes a SUPI and validates it against the data inside the unified data management and unified data repository. So based on the information gained from here, it gets resource. And here we would need to note that IMSI is GUTI. We need GUTI, not IMSI. Inside the network, we don't want IMSI to be known because it is a permanent one, that is unique to the subscriber and it stays permanent. We should not broadcast it because there is a chance that someone can reuse it. For that reason, we use something called GUTI. This is a temporary identifier. GUTI, globally unique temporary identifier. This is a temporary identifier. Temporary identifier. Temporary identifier. Temporary identifier. Identifier.